Let's not forget, Burgerlicious voted for you last night. And who got the murder one? Burgerlicious. Why? Because Dan thought that he was able to be murdered. Is that not correct?
There's a saying that never judge a book by its cover, and sadly that's what Dan did, because Dan underestimated Phaedra. He's been underestimating Phaedra since the day he walked in and was appointed a traitor, and he realized that she was a traitor with him. She gave him the opportunity to choose the third traitor, so he thought he was in charge. She allowed him to kill whoever he wanted to kill, and he thought he was in charge. But oh my God, I was on my feet clapping. Oh my God, I'm here for this. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, share, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing the Traitors US Season 2, Episode 6. Dan played himself. He found out after playing around. So you have, it's early in the morning. Everyone is coming down to breakfast. Everybody comes down except for Bergie and Phaedra on cue. Phaedra should be an actress. Oh, not my burgerlicious, not my burgerlicious. So people are talking, and Peter's excited because he knows that the traitors took the bait, because he told 3 people who he thought were traitors about, the fact that he had the shield. And sadly, Dan, thinking he was the smartest guy in the field, took the bait and decided to kill Bergie. And Bergie turns up and says, I have a shield, so I'm immune. I wasn't, up for death. And you could see it on Dan's face that he was like, oh my God, I got played. And for him to say, oh, I thought he was just a bachelor who's used to giving roses and not playing game. And it's like, just because somebody's gone on The Bachelor or someone is a real housewife doesn't make them, a dull, doesn't make them unintelligent. And this is why I said he's too overconfident. He's underestimating people, and he's underestimating people like Phaedra, and they're going to take him out because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room when he's not. Anyway, you then have Alan come in and say, once everybody's finished breakfast, we need to get ready for the next challenge, and I can't wait to see what happens. Given that Peter is not a traitor, I'm surprised people are pandering to him, because at the breakfast table, he did mention that he had told 3 people that he had the shield, and now he knew that out of those 3 people, one of them was a traitor because they didn't choose to sort of kill him off. And CT immediately said, well, you told me, but that doesn't make me a traitor. And so then Poverty and Dan had no choice to come out and say, no, you told me as well, you told me as well. And after breakfast, to see them scrambling and running after Peter was hilarious, because you had Poverty speaking to him and say, I know you told me, but I'm not a traitor, blah, 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 blah. Dan, the same thing. And Dan is saying, I need to take control of this game because I haven't been playing it as aggressively as I should. I need to play more aggressively, otherwise I'm going to... And it's like, this is not your game alone. This is why you're in the position you're in. The thing is, you thought you were smarter than every other person in the room because you won Big Brother twice, or you nearly won it twice. And now you've realized that you're not the smartest cookie in the jar, and you're trying to look for excuses or ways or sort of saving yourself. Anyway, they go for a challenge. Alan tells them they need to sort of pull this catapult up this mountain and bring the balls that you shoot from it. And some people will get the opportunity to play for the shield. There's only one shield, so if you pick up a shield box, then you'll get the opportunity to play. And they had to cross a river, and it was interesting to seeing people sort of assisting each other, and sort of there was a lot of teamwork. Although Kevin and Trishelle, I don't get that. I don't get why they were fighting for a box. Trishelle, I think it was a bit too aggressive with Kevin, because Kevin was helping her to cross the river, and then for her to sort of, bypass him and just run and sort of pick up the shield, I thought that was messy. Anyway, they get to the top. John shoots the first cannon for the team because that says they've won the $20,000. And then they now get to sort of play for the shield. So you have Sheree, Sandra, Poverty, Peter, and Trishelle playing for the shield. And surprise, surprise, Sheree was the one who shot her ball the closest to the shield. So she won the shield. And that was amazing because she's never won anything. I always thought Sheree was very active and very fit. So I'm surprised that she hasn't been sort of outperforming, unless Phaedra told her to sort of play in the background, because even CT, he's not at the forefront, he's just sort of staying in the middle. So I don't know whether, because they're Phaedra's favorite people, she's saying to them, don't be a threat to anyone, just stay in the middle, play under the radar, and then when it's towards the end, you can lift your head up. I would assume so. I personally think Peter's too pompous, because when they get back to the castle, there's this conversation about who people think is a traitor. Well, the conversation started in the vans, and people are convinced that Dan is a traitor. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. Dan overplayed his hand in the sense that he thought he was the smartest person in the castle, not realizing that just because people haven't been on Big Brother or they haven't been on Survivor doesn't mean they're not smart. Really, some people are highly intelligent, as in academic intelligent, and then some people have street smarts. And when you have someone like Phaedra, she has all of that. But the thing is, she knows how to camouflage herself. So people see her and they think she's this Barbie housewife, not realizing that she's one of the, if not the smartest person in the room. But she's decided to play dead and let you people sort of take each other out and just assume that, oh, she doesn't know anything, she's a housewife, that's all they know, to fight and to look pretty. And this is how Dan is going to go down. Anyway, you have Peter have this conversation with Bergie and John, and Poverty is about to enter the room and he tells her to wait. And it's like, you're putting a target on yourself, because there's no way you can kill two traitors at one go. If you kill Dan, or if you banish Dan, Poverty is going to still be in the game and she can still take you out. Or if you banish Poverty, Dan is still going to be in the game and he's going to take you out. So if I were you, I'll take a page out of the charade and CT playbook and just play in the background. Just be like the wallpaper. Don't involve yourself in any conversations or anything that has nothing to do with you. And so you then have... they then call Poverty, and Poverty starts asking, so what's going on? And they tell her that everyone is suspecting Dan, that Dan is a traitor. And she asks, what about me? Do people think I am a traitor? And it's like, what do you think, Sherlock Holmes? What do you think? And for Dan to then start running this campaign whereby he's trying to appeal to everybody and say, oh, I've been, watching someone, and today I'm ready to sort of name who I think is a traitor. And it's like, you've been here for weeks. You've barely said 2 words. Suddenly, because you already know that your neck is on the line, you've decided that you want to out a traitor. Make that make sense? Make that make sense? Because it's not making sense to anyone else. Because you sat there, every time you've been asked, you've just been said, oh, well, I'm studying the room. Now you're running around to everybody. Please give me an open ear when I start to speak. Please. I hope they don't. I hope they ignore him and they let him go down. For the rest of his life, Dan is going to know and is going to question why he decided to go toe-to-toe with Phaedra. He didn't know that Phaedra was here for it. As Phaedra can read you fulfilled. Phaedra is a trained lawyer, buddy. And so for you to think you could go toe-to-toe with her, you could see on his face, because he said, oh, I've been studying everyone. And then he started this process of deduction until he had Phaedra and Poverty. And then from Phaedra and Poverty, he eliminated Poverty and was left with Phaedra. And I think he thought he could bulldoze Phaedra, just as he thought he could bulldoze Phaedra when they were talking about poisoning someone. And so for Phaedra to read him for filth and to school him on the art of playing a game, I am here for it. Because halfway through, you could see on his face, it was like, oh, damn, I effed around and now I'm about to find out. I picked the wrong horse. I should have picked somebody else. And this was his mistake. He should have picked Peter and said, Peter is trying to keep you people in line. He's trying to pull us apart. He should have gone for somebody else. He went for the wrong person, and Phaedra read him and answered every single question like she was in court. And the fact that Phaedra had the gallery answering for her, Bergie saying, well, Phaedra trusts me, so if she was thinking long game, she would save me. And you have Kate there sitting and going, well, so Burgerlicious troubled you. So everybody was looking at Dan like he was the fool, because they're all like, why would you think Phaedra is a traitor? Why would you think they are now speaking up for Phaedra. And I think this is when he realized, oh my God, I've bucked up the wrong tree. And I have no way of escaping. I think looking at his face, you could actually see him saying, this is how I went home. This is how I'm getting dumped out of the show. This is how I'm getting banished because I thought I was smart. And I played the wrong hand. And surely he did. Oh my God, I was clapping my hands. I was so ecstatic for this. I'm here for Phaedra. To have everyone vote for you but two people. And the two people is himself and Peter, who said he knew he had enough votes, but he still wanted the target to remain on poverty. Dan knows he played himself. He did play himself. He thought he was smarter than everybody in the room. And even in his confessional, he said he should have known better than to go against the lawyer. And I think he thought he was smarter than Phaedra. I think when Phaedra was presented as one of the traitors, he thought he could manipulate her and get her to do everything he wanted her to do. And so to have her run circles around him and actually show him that he's not in charge is something he wasn't expecting. It's something that sort of took him by surprise. And I am here for it. And I'm so happy that Phaedra was able to actually show him that you're not the boss and you're not as smart as you think. And hey, it is what it is. So you now have people sort of, you have Trishelle saying, oh, Phaedra, I think is a traitor. That's why Dan fed us her name. And it's like, please sit down. If you're not smart, you're going to go home. Please sit down somewhere. No one has asked you. Can you sit down and keep quiet? And then, so everybody leaves the round table, and you now have Peter calling his faithfuls around him to sort of discuss who their next target is. And it's like, now you're putting a target on yourself. I think Peter wants to feed them who to kill before he leaves, because he thinks he's going to be killed off. But I think the smartest play for Phaedra and Poverty would be to pull him in and make him a traitor. That way he cannot feed them any names at all, and he will know not to play with Phaedra, seeing how she dragged Dan for fail. So you have everyone go to bed, and then the traitors sort of meet in their coven, and while they're deciding on who to kill, because even if they kill Peter, they still have Bergie, because Bergie's also out for blood. I never thought Bergie would be this smart at this sort of game, but hi, whoever's teaching him has taught him a lot. And so then Alan comes in and says, you need to decide whether you want to recruit someone or whether you want to kill someone. And so for them to decide to recruit, Phaedra is smart because she gives you the power to hang yourself. And I liked her analogy to say, I'm walking into a hospital, you're in the ICU, you're about to flatline, so decide what you want to do. Do you want to leave your fate in the hands of other people, or do you want to take your own fate and sort of save yourself? So Poverty decides to recruit Peter. Do I think that's a good idea? I think so. Just because once Peter is a traitor, he's less likely to sort of sell them to the other guys, unless he wants Dan's fate. And Dan has shown that you never go toe to toe with Phaedra unless you're ready. Otherwise, she's going to take you out. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I can't wait for the next episode. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 5. Bye guys.